breathe in. In this video I will teach you how to activate your chakras, and to do so I will reveal the secret mantras for each chakra, as well as guiding you step by step through the chakra activation practices. Before proceeding with the practical instructions for activating your chakras, I will first briefly mention some aspects you need to be aware of prior to beginning the activation. First of all, the chakras are located in something called the pranic body. For you to understand what this means, I can say that you have a pranic body, and this pranic body is not separate from your physical body, but is just a finer, more subtle sheet of it. And as I have mentioned in previous videos, any changes made to the pranic body will have a corresponding effect on your physical body, and vice versa. In this pranic body, you have energy channels, so-called nadis, whose function is to transport energy throughout, and at intersections where these nadis meet, you find the chakras. And it is the function of the chakras to further facilitate the distribution of energy. Now, a common misconception about the chakras is that you have to open them. This is completely wrong, because the chakras are actually always open. Otherwise, if instead they were closed, energy would not be able to circulate in your body, which would result in your death. No, what you have to do is to activate your chakras. You see, the chakras in the original state just lets energy through. But when you activate the chakras, they do more than just let energy pass through, and instead actively start to work with distributing energy throughout your pranic body. Now, I can say that before performing the practices for activation, you should first dissolve the energetic knots, the so-called granthis, existing in your pranic body. You should do this to get the most out of your activation, but also because Kundalini, a great energy sleeping at your lower bodily regions, could in some rare instances be awakened when activating your chakras, especially when activating the Muladhara Chakra, and thus you risk Kundalini getting stuck at a knot if you have not dissolved the knots beforehand. You can watch my video about Mahabandha and learn how to dissolve the knots by clicking up here. Some practical details worth to mention before proceeding to the chakra activation practices are that when doing these practices, you could lay down on your back with your hands and legs spread out, such as in the Shavasana pose. Or you could sit up in any pose where your back is kept straight. But you should preferably sit in a proper meditation pose, such as Padmasana, or most preferably in the Siddhasana pose, as this pose provides some further stimulation to the Muladhara Chakra. And the Siddhasana pose is the pose I am going to sit in when demonstrating the chakra activation practices. To learn how to sit in Siddhasana, you can watch my video specifically dedicated to this topic by clicking up here. When performing the chakra activation practices, you should also always breathe through your nose and do long, deep breaths. To learn how to breathe in such a way, you could watch my video on Ujjayi Pranayama and deep breathing by clicking up here. In addition to this, you should also perform Khechari Mudra if you can. This mudra involves rolling your tongue back in the mouth and up into the nasal cavity, like this. If you cannot yet perform this mudra, you should just breathe normally through your nose when doing the activation practices. But if you can perform this mudra, you should indeed perform it. And when holding the breath, you can even press the tongue against the roof of the nasal cavity to further seal off any air from leaking out or getting in through the nose. You can learn how to do Khechari Mudra by watching my video about how I achieved it in 14 days by clicking up here. I might also add that when doing the chakra activation practices, your eyes should be closed and you should ideally be sitting in darkness. When describing the chakra activation practices, I have, for your convenience, made some animations to indicate that around which locations in the body you can find the chakras. Expect nothing fancy, but use some crude animations to further illustrate the point. After all, I am a yoga master, not a master animator. Now a quick word on the mantras which I will reveal when describing the activation practices for each chakra. Every chakra mentioned in this video has a specific mantra. This is because every chakra has a certain vibration frequency associated with it, and thus has a specific mantra to best match the frequency. I can say that to learn the sound of the mantras, you can practice with vibrating them out loud with your vocal cords before you begin the actual chakra activation practices. Keeping in mind to chant the mantra as a vibratory sound to best match the chakra frequency, and imagine that the sound does not come from your mouth, but instead emanating from the location of the chakra. However, when doing the activation practices, you should only mentally chant the vibratory mantra in your mind, and try to feel this sound as emanating from the location of the chakra as a somewhat buzzing sensation. I will now provide instructions for the chakra activation practices. I will do so by first providing a summary of the practices. Then I will provide the details for each chakra. And finally, I will guide you through the practices while I demonstrate just how to perform them for each chakra. In the chakra activation practices, you focus on one chakra at a time, but the practices are similarly structured for each chakra. We'll say, you visualize the chakra as a ball or a sphere of energy in a certain color, and imagine that you breathe in and out from the chakra as you do deep breathing for a minimum of 3 deep breaths in and out through the nose. Next, you inhale deeply through your nose and hold your breath after this inhalation and mentally vibrate a specific mantra which you try to feel as if coming from the position of the chakra. Simultaneously, you also try to feel a vibration coming from the position of the chakra. When you feel the need to breathe again, you exhale deeply through the nose and begin again with the deep breathing, where you breathe in and out through the nose for a minimum of 3 times. Thereafter you hold the breath again, but this time after exhalation, and then you repeat the mantra simultaneously as you feel the vibration. You do this until you need to breathe in again. All of this represent one cycle of chakra activation for one chakra, and you should do a minimum of 2 cycles for each chakra. The chakra activation practices are for your main chakras, which are 7 in number. The first and lowest of your main chakras is Muladhara Chakra, also referred to as the root chakra, and it is located at about a position roughly corresponding to the perineum, between the anus and genitals. That is why sitting in Siddhisthana, with a heel gently pressing against the perineum, has a stimulating effect on the Muladhara Chakra. When doing the activation practices for this chakra, you should visualize it as a red sphere of energy situated at the mentioned position. Now I can reveal that the mantra associated with Muladhara Chakra is LAM. Note that I will chant the mantras in my demonstration of the activation practices, and thus provide an indication as to how the vibratory sound should be. When breathing while you do the activation practices for Muladhara, you should, as you breathe in, imagine that air is breathed in from below into this red sphere at the perineum. And when breathing out, you should imagine air to be going out from below, out of the red sphere. Then when holding your breath, you mentally chant the mantra LAM and feel it as a vibration from the position of the Muladhara Chakra. Now moving on to the chakra a little higher up, the second chakra. This is Svadhisthana Chakra, the sacral chakra, and its location is roughly corresponding to a position inside your spinal column, at the sacral region. To activate the Svadhisthana Chakra, you should visualize it as an orange-colored sphere of energy, and the mantra for Svadhisthana is VAM. When breathing while you activate it, you should, as you breathe in, imagine that air is breathed in from the front of your body and into the orange sphere of Svadhisthana. And when breathing out, you should imagine air to be going out from the front of your body, out of the orange sphere. Then when holding your breath, you mentally chant the mantra VAM and feel it as a vibration from Svadhisthana Chakra. The third chakra is Manipura Chakra, the navel chakra, and its location is roughly corresponding to a position inside your spinal column, at about in height with the navel area. To activate Manipura Chakra, you should visualize it as a yellow sphere of energy, and the mantra for Manipura is RAM. When breathing while you activate it, you should imagine that air is being breathed in and out through the front of your stomach, right into and out of Manipura. Then when holding your breath, you mentally chant the mantra RAM as you feel the vibration from Manipura. The fourth chakra is Anahata Chakra, the heart chakra, and its location is roughly corresponding to a position inside your spinal column, at about in height with your heart. To activate Anahata Chakra, you should visualize it as a green sphere of energy, and the mantra for Anahata is YAM. When breathing while you activate it, you should imagine that air is breathed in and out through the front of your chest, straight into and out of Anahata. Then when holding your breath, you mentally chant the mantra YAM as you feel the vibration from Anahata. The fifth chakra is Vishuddhi Chakra, the truth chakra, and its location is roughly corresponding to a position inside of your spinal column, in height with your truth region. To activate Vishuddhi Chakra, you should visualize it as a sky blue or cyan-colored sphere of energy, and the mantra for Vishuddhi Chakra is hum. When breathing while you activate it, you should imagine that air is being breathed in and out through the front of your throat, right into and out of Vishuddhi. Then, when holding your breath, you mentally chant the mantra hum as you feel the vibration from Vishuddhi. The sixth chakra is Ajna Chakra, the third eye chakra, and its location is roughly corresponding to a position in the middle of your head. To activate Ajna Chakra, you should visualize it as a sphere of energy that is more darker blue in color than for the previous chakra of Vishuddhi. And the mantra for Ajna Chakra is the famous Om. When breathing while you activate it, you should imagine that air is breathed in and out through the front of your head, straight into and out of Ajna. Then, when holding your breath, you mentally chant the mantra Om as you feel the vibration from Ajna. The seventh and highest of your main chakras is Sahasrara Chakra, the crown chakra, and its location is roughly corresponding to a position beginning at about the top of your head and continuing up quite a bit above. To activate Sahasrara Chakra, you should visualize it as a violet sphere of energy, and the mantra for Sahasrara Chakra is the same as for Ajna Chakra, the famous Om. When breathing while you do the activation practices for Sahasrara, you should, as you breathe in, imagine that air is breathed in from above into this violet sphere, and when breathing out, you should imagine air to be going out from above, out of the violet sphere. Then, when holding your breath, you mentally chant the mantra Om as you feel the vibration from Sahasrara Chakra. Now I'm going to demonstrate how to do the activation practices for Muladhara Chakra. And in this demonstration, Muladhara will be animated as a red sphere, which is how you should visualize Muladhara throughout the practice. I will demonstrate only one cycle, but remember to do at least 2 cycles as mentioned earlier. And also remember to keep your eyes closed, as well as always breathing through your nose when doing the activation practices for Muladhara or for any of the other chakras. You breathe in from below as you breathe in into the red visualized sphere. And breathe out from below as you breathe out of the red sphere. Breathe in from below. Breathe out from below. You are breathing in from Muladhara. And you are breathing out from Muladhara. Take another deep breath into Muladhara. And hold your breath with the air in the lungs. Mentally chant the mantra and feel the vibration coming from Muladhara. Now release the air slowly and breathe out from the red sphere of Muladhara. Breathe in again into the red sphere, into Muladhara. Breathe out again from the red sphere, out of Muladhara. Breathe in into Muladhara. Breathe out of Muladhara. Breathe in. Breathe out. And hold your breath after having breathed out completely. And feel the vibration from Muladhara as you chant the mantra mentally. This concludes one cycle, and you can then immediately begin a new cycle. You do this by immediately breathing in deeply, which starts the new cycle, and in which you just repeat the whole process I just guided you through. And now I am going to demonstrate the activation practices for Svadhisthana Chakra. And in this demonstration, Svadhisthana will be animated as an orange sphere, which is how you should visualize Svadhisthana throughout the practice. I will demonstrate only one cycle, but remember to perform at least 2 cycles. You breathe in from the front as you breathe in, into the orange visualized sphere. And breathe out from the front, out of the orange sphere. Breathe in from the front. Breathe out from the front. You are breathing in from Svadhisthana. And you are breathing out from Svadhisthana. Take another deep breath into Svadhisthana. And hold your breath with the air in the lungs. Mentally chant the mantra and feel the vibration coming from Svadhisthana. Now release the air slowly and breathe out from the orange sphere of Svadhisthana. Breathe in again into the orange sphere, into Svadhisthana. Breathe out again from the orange sphere, out of Svadhisthana. Breathe in into Svadhisthana. Breathe out of Svadhisthana. Breathe in. Breathe out. And hold your breath after having breathed out completely. And feel the vibration from Svadhisthana as you chant the mantra mentally. This concludes one cycle, and you can then immediately begin a new cycle by breathing in slowly again and repeating the whole process I just guided you through. It is now time for me to demonstrate the activation practices for Manipura Chakra. And in this demonstration, Manipura will be animated as a yellow sphere, which is how you should visualize Manipura throughout the practice. I will demonstrate only one cycle, but remember to perform at least 2 cycles. You breathe in from the front as you breathe in into the yellow visualized sphere. And breathe out from the front out of the yellow sphere. Breathe in from the front. Breathe out from the front. You are breathing in from Manipura. And you are breathing out from Manipura. Take another deep breath into Manipura. And hold your breath with the air in the lungs. Mentally chant the mantra and feel the vibration coming from Manipura. Now release the air slowly and breathe out from the yellow sphere of Manipura. Breathe in again into the yellow sphere, into Manipura. Breathe out again from the yellow sphere, out of Manipura. Breathe in into Manipura. Breathe out of Manipura. Breathe in. Breathe out. And hold your breath after having breathed out completely. And feel the vibration from Manipura as you chant the mantra mentally. This concludes one cycle, and you can then immediately begin a new cycle by breathing in slowly again and repeating the whole process I just guided you through. Now I'm going to demonstrate the activation practices for Anahata Chakra. And in this demonstration, Anahata will be animated as a green sphere, which is how you should visualize Anahata throughout the practice. I will demonstrate only one cycle, but remember to perform at least 2 cycles. You breathe in from the front as you breathe in into the green visualized sphere. And breathe out from the front out of the green sphere. Breathe in from the front. Breathe out from the front. You are breathing in from Anahata. And you are breathing out from Anahata. Take another deep breath into Anahata. And hold your breath with the air in the lungs. Mentally chant the mantra and feel the vibration coming from Anahata. Now release the air slowly and breathe out from the green sphere of Anahata. Breathe in again into the green sphere, into Anahata. Breathe out again from the green sphere, out of Anahata. Breathe in into Anahata. Breathe out of Anahata. Breathe in. Breathe out. And hold your breath after having breathed out completely. And feel the vibration from Anahata as you chant the mantra mentally. This concludes one cycle, and you can then immediately begin a new cycle by breathing in slowly again and repeating the whole process I just guided you through. I am now going to demonstrate the activation practices for Vishuddhi Chakra, and in this demonstration, Vishuddhi will be animated as a cyan-colored sphere, which is how you should visualize Vishuddhi throughout the practice. I will demonstrate only one cycle, but remember to perform at least 2 cycles. You breathe in from the front as you breathe in into the visualized sphere of cyan color. And breathe out from the front, out of the cyan colored sphere. Breathe in from the front. Breathe out from the front. You are breathing in from Vishuddhi. And you are breathing out from Vishuddhi. Take another deep breath into Vishuddhi. And hold your breath with the air in the lungs. Mentally chant the mantra and feel the vibration coming from Vishuddhi. Now release the air slowly and breathe out from the cyan-colored sphere of Vishuddhi. Breathe in again into the cyan-colored sphere, into Vishuddhi. Breathe out again from the cyan-colored sphere, out of Vishuddhi. Breathe in into Vishuddhi. Breathe out of Vishuddhi. Breathe in. Breathe out. And hold your breath after having breathed out completely. And feel the vibration from Vishuddhi as you chant the mantra mentally. This concludes one cycle, and you can then immediately begin a new cycle by breathing in slowly again and repeating the whole process I just guided you through. Now I'm going to demonstrate the activation practices for Ajna Chakra. And in this demonstration, Ajna will be animated as a blue sphere, which is how you should visualize Ajna throughout the practice. I will demonstrate only one cycle, but remember to perform at least 2 cycles. You breathe in from the front as you breathe in into the blue visualized sphere. And breathe out from the front out of the blue sphere. Breathe in from the front. Breathe out from the front. You are breathing in from Ajna. And you are breathing out from Ajna. Take another deep breath into Ajna. And hold your breath with the air in the lungs. Mentally chant a mantra and feel the vibration coming from Ajna. Now release the air slowly and breathe out from the blue sphere of Ajna. Breathe in again into the blue sphere, into Ajna. Breathe out again from the blue sphere, out of Ajna. Breathe in into Ajna. Breathe out of Ajna. Breathe in. Breathe out. And hold your breath after having breathed out completely. And feel the vibration from Ajna as you chant the mantra mentally. This concludes one cycle, and you can then immediately begin a new cycle by breathing in slowly again and repeating the whole process I just guided you through. And now for my final chakra demonstration. I am going to demonstrate how to perform the activation practices for Sahasrara Chakra. And in this demonstration, Sahasrara will be animated as a violet sphere, which is how you should visualize Sahasrara throughout the practice. I will demonstrate only one cycle, but remember to perform at least 2 cycles. You breathe in from above as you breathe in into the violet visualized sphere. And breathe out from above as you breathe out of the violet sphere. Breathe in from above. Breathe out from above. You are breathing in from Sahasrara. And you are breathing out from Sahasrara. Take another deep breath into Sahasrara. And hold your breath with the air in the lungs. Mentally chant the mantra and feel the vibration coming from Sahasrara. Now release the air slowly and breathe out from the violet sphere of Sahasrara. Breathe in again into the violet sphere into Sahasrara. Breathe out again from the violet sphere out of Sahasrara. Breathe in into Sahasrara. Breathe out of Sahasrara. Breathe in. Breathe out. And hold your breath after having breathed out completely. And feel the vibration from Sahasrara as you chant the mantra mentally. This concludes one cycle, and you can then immediately begin a new cycle. You do this by immediately breathing in deeply, which starts the new cycle, and in which you just repeat the whole process I just guided you through. I can say that when doing these practices to activate the chakras, you should generally always start at the lowest chakra and then move up during your activation session until you reach the highest chakra. You should generally also aim for balance and not, for example, do 2 cycles for one chakra and then 4 cycles for another chakra during your activation session. But you should instead practice on all chakras equally and with the same amount of cycles. However, you could also spread out your activation practices over a whole week and practice with only one chakra per day. But remember to not just randomly pick a chakra to practice on, and instead do it in order, starting from the lowest chakra, then moving on up for every day that passes. As the main chakras are 7 in number, you could actually practice one chakra per day and thus cover all of the chakras in 1 week's time. For example, Muladhara Chakra on Monday, and then ending the week with Sahasrara Chakra on Sunday. Then you start over again, the same way, the next week. Also keep in mind that the minimum amounts for the number of breaths and for the cycles are just that, the bare minimum amounts. So do not hesitate to increase the amounts for the number of breaths and or cycles, because increasing the amounts would make you more likely to faster start to really feel the chakras and hastening the activation of them. As with many things in life, the more you practice, the faster you achieve results. Just remember that when increasing the amounts, you should keep the balance by always increasing the amounts equally for each chakra. In addition, keep in mind that when increasing the minimum number of 3 breaths before the one last inhalation for holding the breath on the inhalation, then you should also increase with an equal amount the number of breaths before breath holding after exhalation, and maintaining these increases throughout your next cycles as well. Now I will clear up something that often causes some confusion for the aspiring yogic practitioner when working with the chakras. The color which you visualize, as well as the mantra you chant mentally, are just a means to create a concrete representation in your conscious mind of the chakra, and thereby facilitate a conscious connection with the vibratory frequency of the chakra in order to increase it and activate the chakra. This is why, for example, the colors of the chakras could differ among different yogic lineages. Some lineages even utilize elaborate visualizations involving lotuses with many colored petals. And when aspiring yogic practitioners come across these differences, they are bound to be confused. In either case, these differences among lineages are not something often explicitly talked about, and the explanation for these differences are just that the visualizations are not actual lifelike depictions of the chakras, but are just a means to put you in contact with the vibratory frequency of the chakra, and of foremost importance is thus that you feel the vibration from the chakra. I can say that it is enough to visualize the chakras as colored spheres to achieve this connection, and the colors I use in this video are the colors that works best for the majority of people when doing chakra activation practices. However, with that said, what colors works best for achieving this connection could sometimes differ slightly between individuals, and if you, when getting deeper into the chakra activation practices, should begin to perceive a chakra to be of another hue or color than the one described in this video, feel free to change to using this color instead for the chakra in your further practices with it, because doing so will put you in even closer contact with the vibratory frequency and thus speed up your activation of the chakra. Likewise, if you begin to perceive any mantra to be slightly different for any chakra than what is described in this video, then feel free to change the mantra accordingly in your further practices. Nonetheless, know that the mantras used in this video are the ones that best suits the majority of people when working with the chakras. In a way, it is actually similar with the location of the chakras, and I've provided you with the approximate chakra positions. But once you start to really feel the vibration from a chakra, you will be able to pinpoint with fine precision the exact position in your particular body from where the vibration originates, and then you should focus your attention upon this precise position in your activation practices thereafter. I can also add that if you have no experience in doing visualizations and forming mental images in your mind's eye, then you may find it difficult in the beginning to form clear visualizations of the colored spheres, but do not worry about this. With continued practice, you will become more proficient at visualizing, and in the end, what is of foremost importance is not that you see the chakra, but that you feel the chakra. Now you might wonder how to know that your chakras have been activated. Well, as mentioned earlier in the video, energies will be distributed swifter and more effectively in your body when the chakras are activated. As such, you will feel more energetic in general, even more so than when you previously dissolved the knots. To clarify further, I can say that dissolving the knots make it possible for energies to circulate freely in your body without impediment. But now, with the activation of your chakras, energies will flow even more quickly due to the chakras propelling the energies to greater speeds, and thus you will now feel even more energetic. A common analogy is to compare the chakras to wheels, and when you begin to activate a chakra, it is like making a wheel spin faster, and the faster it spins, the more efficiently it distributes energies. Actually, the more you do the activation practices, the better your chakras become at distributing energies, until they reach a certain point at which they distribute energies at optimal efficiency, and this optimal efficiency is what is known as having activated your chakras. However, this is all based upon that you have actually dissolved the knots before activating the chakras, which is the correct order as envisioned by the yoga masters of older times. If you have not, and instead first begin to activate the chakras, you will still feel an increase in energy as you activate them, but not nearly as high, because the knots would still slow up the swifter energy flow, and thus preventing you from receiving the maximum potential from your chakra activation. Now, aside from feeling more energetic, when activating a chakra, you will also begin to perceive a distinct humming vibration from the position of the chakra. This vibration is what you try to feel when doing the activation practices. And when you actually start to feel it to a certain high degree, which may persist even after the practices and in your daily life, you can be assured that the chakra has been activated. However, do not worry that this vibration will persist at this intensity forever, and after some time you will have grown so accustomed to this vibration that you only feel it when you concentrate directly on the chakra. In addition, the chakras are associated with the development of certain abilities or yogic powers, so-called Siddhis. These Siddhis may arise instantly upon activation of a chakra, but usually develop gradually over the course of a longer time span after a chakra has been activated. I will talk more of such Siddhis in a future video dedicated specifically to the acquisition of Siddhis. For now, just know that the activation of chakras will provide you the benefit of being more energetic. Now, thanks for watching, and remember to subscribe and clicking the notify button to be informed when I upload new videos. This way you will not miss any of my future videos, and I can reveal that my very next video will be a follow-up video to the current one, wherein I will provide further information about the chakra activation practices, and in which I will demonstrate some more advanced techniques for activating your chakras. So stay tuned to not miss that one. Also remember to like the current video if you enjoyed it, and do not hesitate to ask me any questions in the comment section down below. I am always glad to assist you.